Okay, friends, I am sitting here with my queen on this beautiful Friday night, and we are thinking about you. And we want to share with you our basic playbook after 30 years of marriage, and we call it the four F's. Yes, we call it the four F's. Okay, and so really, what those four F's are. Well, before we get into the four F's, first of all, okay, we're going live here on Facebook on my page, and we're also going live on the Contractor Freedom YouTube channel. And I know there's a lot of contractors out there. The stress of running your business just it flows over into your marriage and into your family, into your parenting. But this isn't just for contractors. It isn't just for business owners. Rochelle and I are going to be doing a series here on just tips. I mean, we've been doing this for a while, and guess what? We have done it absolutely perfectly for 30 whole years. Well, we all know that's not true, but we've learned a thing or two, and we want to share that with you guys. It's been an amazing journey, and guess what? We are just getting started. I'm so excited. So here's the four F's. The first one is foundation. The second one is foundation, future, fellowship, and feels. Foundation, future, fellowship, and feels. And I want to just go through each of those and just have a little chat about them real quick. And Rochelle, how do you feel about doing? Why don't you take number one, foundation?
Okay, foundation. So foundation for us, we believe in Jesus, and we that's how we met in church, and that's how we've raised our kids. That's how we handle problems. That's how we have the fun times. I mean, God's just 100% first in our lives. You know, God first, marriage second, kids third, and that's the way it will always be. Sorry, cat.
Yeah. So when conflict comes, we both have the same foundation of our life, our values at our very most inner being are the same. And I think that's an absolute key for a long lasting marriage, that we have that same bedrock of foundation in our lives.
Yeah.
And so there aren't these underlying divisions or cracks, fractures that are just being covered up by love, lust, infatuation, whatever. Because we know that stuff doesn't last. Well, some of that doesn't last, for the love should last forever, right? But so the foundation is absolutely key. Okay, so now here's the next thing. I want to number the second F is future, and she and I have a vision of us for the future. When we were just getting started, we had a vision for our family. And we've raised our kids, our five kids. We're so proud of each and every one of them. And our youngest is in college, so she's home from time to time. But mostly, it's just her and I. In some ways, we could say, hey, they all grew up and left us, and it's back to just us again. They haven't really left us. I mean, we still see them all the time. We have a very, very close knit family, which is one of the core foundations that when we both started, we both agreed that we wanted a whole bunch of kids. And so we talked about that before. I mean, one of the first things we started dating is, what do we want our future life to look like, right? And so in the stress of life, whether your kids are small or whether your kids are grown, okay, when things start, we both start getting busy, and time and busyness starts to pull us apart. Sometimes we just need to sit down with one another and remind ourselves where we're actually headed, that we have a future, that we're building a specific future of our lives, for both the impact we want to have in the kingdom of God, the impact we want to have in our community and in our business, and with our own children, right? And so when we often, we live very busy lives, we have to sit down and say, okay, hold on. Here's where we're going. Let's carve away all the other stuff that might be grabbing at our attention, saying, hey, give me your attention, whatever. And we'll have to carve away the things and focus on the things that really help help us with our unified vision of the future. So that vision of the future is the second F. Rochelle, why don't you talk about the third F?
I forgot. What was it? Where is it?
Fellowship.
Oh, fellowship. So yeah, so it's really hard to believe when you're first married and you have your babies and you're raising your family and they do grow up and they do get married, and starts at 16 when they get that driver's license, and they start to like, or they're always gone. So I think that prepares you for the day that they're like really gone. But I think that the fellowship part's important, to have fun together. We like to go up to Pinstack and play games, and there's a Connect Four basketball game. We like to compete against each other, so I always win.
Well, that's debatable. We one of the things we've always had is a healthy competition with each other, and it's important sometimes to let your partner win.
No. We do not do that. You don't let me win. I win because I earned it. No letting me win.
But that fellowship, and that's one of the things when the kids were younger. Okay, when the kids were younger, we were pastoring the kids' church, like 2 to 3 services a week. I was running the business. She was taking care of the home front. And it was really, really hard for her and I to connect, just her and I. It was really hard during that time. And that's one of the things that's gotten easier as the kids have grown up. It's gotten a much easier. But really, Rochelle's my best friend, but it's not just, it's not okay just to be best friends. There's some other important ingredients there.
Like what?
Like,
I don't know. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
What do you not want to talk about?
I didn't say I didn't want to talk about it. I have no idea what you're talking about.
But so, look, here's the deal. Make sure that your marriage doesn't become you're just roommates.
Oh, now I know what you're talking about.
You have to be what? You have to be lovers.
Yeah.
Okay. And which actually leads us right into the last F. Anybody want to guess what the last F is? The last F is feels, for feelings. Okay. And we've all heard this quote. Everybody will forget what you said. They'll forget what you did, but they'll never forget the way you made them feel. And again, when we're running in the stress of life, we tend to take each other for granted. And I know she takes me for granted. No, but we take each other for granted. And these interactions, or lack thereof, we don't make the other person feel good with those interactions. And, men and women both have some different needs, but I feel like it's both of our responsibility to pursue one another. Okay. We don't want to be just friends. We're not just partners. We're not just co-parenting here. Okay. There has to be a passion. There has to be a passion in your relationship, and keeping that kindled. And that one-on-one time is what keeps that kindled. And, it's like a marriage without passion is just a business relationship. Have you ever felt like that in your marriage? Maybe for a season, it just feels like you guys are just going through the motions and doing all the tasks, but you really don't have that connection. And I'm going to be honest with my personality style. I can be like the Energizer Bunny, and I can just go and not really think about that connection for a while. I do think about it eventually. Okay. But Rochelle, on the other hand, her, that quality time with her is just absolutely vital. And I want her to feel every single day that I love her, and that I appreciate her, that I value her. And guess what? That I really want her. I want her to feel those things.
Loud and clear every day.
I want her to feel that every day. And I don't want to just say it. Okay. And it's not just inside. Look, love that is not expressed is not love, right? Love that's not expressed is not love. Appreciation that is not expressed is not love. So, we have to make each other feel good. And it's not about, catering to one another's feelings. But let's just go back for a second to the golden rule. Okay, treat others the way you want to be treated. Well, if I was to, put myself in her shoes, how would she want to be treated? Okay, she wants me to love her. She wants me to be tender with her. She wants me to spend time with her. She wants me to think about her, and she wants me to defend her. All of those things. And I want her to feel safe. I'm the man of this house. I'm the leader of this place. Okay, and I'm responsible. There's responsibilities that I carry, and I gladly carry them. Then yes, they are heavy. Okay, but I'm the man of this house, and I'm going to take care of this woman, and I'm going to make sure that she is always cared for, provided for, and safe, and loved, and appreciated. And it's not always easy to remember to do those things in the busyness of life, right? What do you think about that? About the topic of feels?
What? That was a big question. What?
That was a big question. Yeah. So like,
just
how do you
listed
like?
20 things.
I did. Okay, but like, what do you want? What do you want me to feel every day?
Well, that you're taken care of, that you're loved, that you're appreciated and valued and respected.
Yeah. And we, all those different needs for us are, a little bit different, but we need to consider the way the other person feels, because what happens is we get a little angry. Maybe we didn't get what we wanted from the other person. So now we're being passive aggressive, and we're withholding time or intimacy or affirmations from one another. And then we're just picking at one another. That never works out well. Mm-mm. That just boils into something big and nasty.
It doesn't feel good.
And something that I learned from one of my mentors, Dr. Rome, is he said a lot of times when there's a disagreement in a relationship, whether it's marriage or any other relationship, and they just can't come to terms, and he would just say this: I value our relationship over being right. And I just want you to know that I don't have to be right. I value our relationship. And that's okay to do that. I think that's a powerful thing that we can do, is value one another over being right, because we don't think the same, and we're not always going to reconcile all of our differences, right? So, do you have any more thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's super easy when you both do have the big major goals, but like it's the daily thing that can add up and pile up to where you're doing your thing and I'm doing my thing, and we're just we get in this like coast mode, and then all of a sudden the next time we talk we are like in an argument because we haven't had any time together. And so I think that we've gotten better about stopping before we get to those moments of like the railroad track needs to come together, so we're not in that like frustration with each other. And I think that figuring out that carving out time for us is very, very important.
For sure. So, so that's the 4 F's, okay? Foundation, future, fellowship, and feels. And at the end of the day, we're not just co-parenting, okay? We are faith-filled, future dreamers, okay? We are best friends, and we are forever lovers. That's us right there. And we have to work on those. It's not easy, but nothing worth having is easy. That's the bottom line. It's work, and we have to work at it. So we love you guys. Now, next, what we're going to be talking about on our next live stream, we're going to talk about the number one friction, what has been the number one causer of friction in our relationship for so many years, and how we keep it at bay. And you guys are going to want to get in on this, so we're probably going to do that tomorrow. Stay tuned. We'll put an announcement out on our Facebook live streams. And in the meantime, we